Today we're going to be talking about something that is very, very important. And if you plan on becoming financially independent and financially educated, then this is one of the most important first steps you're going to have to take. And that is creating a budget for yourself and properly allocating your resources to get the things that you actually want. So a lot of people dislike the idea of having a budget because they believe that having a budget constricts their ability to spend their money on the things that they want. But I would argue the opposite. The purpose of a budget is to make sure you spend your money, your resources, your time on the things that you deem the most valuable rather than spending your money on casual things that you don't really need but you just want at the time. All people have more wants than they have needs. And your income, the amount of money you make every month of the year, will match your wants. So people will spend on their wants as long as they have money, unless they have a budget, unless they protest just spending all of their money on their wants. So one of the first things you want to do when creating a budget is you want to find out approximately how much money you're spending every single month. And you want to be able to track that. And there are different ways of tracking it. You can use pen and paper, you can use an Excel spreadsheet, you could download the Mint app. So Mint is an app that you can hook up your bank accounts or credit cards to. It will show you how much you owe in credit card debt, and it'll give you your net worth and show you the various amounts of money you have in your different accounts. So you actually have a picture of what's going on in your financial life. So what gets tracked improves over time. If you're trying to lose weight, you can count your calories, you can take your weight, you can create a plan in order to lose weight. It doesn't happen by accident. Losing weight, becoming healthy, creating a budget to become financially independent and more financially stable doesn't happen by accident. The government is not coming to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. And if you don't do it for yourself, if you don't plan to succeed, your plan is to fail. So each person is going to have their own budget tailored to their specific needs and their wants. You should always prioritize your needs first. So what are needs? Food, water, shelter. These are some of the basic needs. Other things you should include in your budget. If you don't already have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and that's enough money to cover you for 3 to 6 months in the event you lose your job or you lose your income source. So then you have enough time, you can afford your lifestyle for 3 to 6 months as you find a new job, as you find a new income source. And you want to get this emergency fund in place and make sure you only ever touch that money if it actually is an emergency. If you have no other way of supporting yourself. So this emergency fund is here to prevent you from having to go into, say, credit card debt, which would hurt you further down the road. So in order to create this emergency fund, you can do it in bulk sums, or I would say set aside 10% of your monthly income to go towards this emergency fund every single month, and that 10% comes out when you get paid, not at the end of the month with whatever money's left over. No, it's when you get paid. That's when the budget goes into effect, the day you get paid. You allocate your money to your needs first. Then you pay yourself first. You probably heard this before. What does it mean? Pay yourself first. So when you pay yourself first, that's money that you're not giving to other people. You're not spending it on clothes. You're not spending it at the mall. Or spending it on the new iPhone, the new TV, or whatever. You are paying yourself first. You're putting it into your savings. You're setting it aside for yourself, to protect yourself, protect your family in the future. Should the need arise, or when the need arises. So you set aside that 10% or up to whatever you can handle, whatever doesn't give you a terrible amount of stress, until it can cover your lifestyle for 3 to 6 months. So once you have that in place, you can begin paying off any high interest credit card debt that you'll have. And it's very important that you don't go into further credit card debt. And to get this high credit card debt paid off, you see, if you have credit card debt or any form of high interest debt above, say, 4% interest that's not a house or mortgage, then that money is compounding against you rather than for you. So that money that you owe to the credit card company, to whoever, that money is accruing interest monthly, yearly. So that money probably costing 15% interest, up to 30% interest, or even more exorbitant, is going to accrue, and then it's going to be more money, and then that money is going to attract more interest, more money, and so on and so forth. So it's compounding against you. Your money makes you owe more money, and then your money makes you owe more money, and that money makes you end up owing more money if it's not paid off faster than it accrues interest. So it's working against you if you have credit card debt, if you have debt that is above 4% interest. And then money's not earning you more than what it is costing. So you want to get these things paid off as fast as you can without detrimenting your life. And what you can do is set aside 20% of your income monthly to go towards paying off this thing. If you can do it at the same time as setting aside that 10% for your emergency fund, then that's all the better. So you're paying off your high interest debt, and you're setting aside that 10% to create your 3 to 6 month emergency fund, which allows you to make better decisions because you're not financially redlining yourself. You're not constantly under stress of that $200, $400 charge that might randomly pop up if your car breaks, and you can get your car fixed and you can continue going to work. If something happens, then you have a financial buffer that's going to get you over any sort of particular problem and allow you to make better decisions that don't involve you going into debt or stopping your entire life just to focus on a specific problem. And as you go along, you are going to adjust this budget. Once you pay off your high interest debt and you're no longer going into further debt and you understand how to correctly use credit cards, then credit cards become a great asset. And we can talk about this in a different video, how to use credit cards. So once you pay off that high interest debt, and once you have your emergency fund in place, then that money can be allocated towards investments. So you have the emergency fund in place, you paid off the debt, and you've built a financial foundation from which you can begin to grow your money tree. So you've gotten rid of those pesky money traps, those financial money pits, which are basically like weeds or pests to your money tree. They're eating away at your finances. You've set the bedrock, you've set the foundation, which will defend you during the winter time, during whatever particular crisis, for the most part, that will arise. And then you can begin actually investing for the future. So the banks that I use in order to allocate my money are Ally Bank and Charles Schwab. The reason I use these banks is because they have good customer service, they're transparent, they don't charge unreasonable, exorbitant fees like Bank of America. Ally Bank doesn't have fees outside of, I believe, if you make over 6 withdrawals per month. and there's no maintenance fees, which I believe are completely ridiculous. So Ally Bank is my savings account, and you can make a bunch of sub-accounts within Ally, and Charles Schwab is my checking account. And it's important to have these separate, so you have your savings account separate from your checking account, because you want to be able to transfer money from your checking to your saving. And it usually takes up to 3 days to transfer money between these accounts. So it forces you to think more about your purchasing decisions, because you can't just access that money on a whim. It forces you to take those extra few days to think about, do I really want to spend money on this? Is this really worth my money? So you would have what you would normally spend in a month, maybe double that in a checking account, and the rest would go to your savings account. And then once you move past the first level, having your 3 to 6 month emergency fund set in place, paying off your high interest credit card debt or other debt that's not earning you more than it's costing you, then you can start putting money towards investments. You can start setting aside money for your wedding or for a trip or your kids' college funds. And that's what the budget's for. The budget is for allocating your money, your time, and your efforts towards the things that you actually value the most. And if you are not planning and telling your money where to go, then it will disappear and you will wonder why I don't have enough money for the things that I actually need and want. I feel like Dave Ramsey all of a sudden. Anyway, this is not financial, medical, or Aloha Spirit advice. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to dislike and unsub. And goodbye.